Respected panel members, greetings of the day. My name is Shreyank Shukla. I am a fourth year student from the Department of Mechanical Engineering enrolled in its dual degree course and specializing in thermal science and engineering. Today I am going to present to you my BTech project report on the topic of numerical study on indirect evaporative cooling system with counterflow configuration. I have worked on this project in a group with Gopal Kumar Agrawal under the guidance of Dr. Saurabh Mitra. The objectives of the current work are to run a simulation model of the process, to analyze operating temperature, relative humidity, wet bulb effectiveness, water consumption rate, and expected heat transfer coefficient, to get an idea of approximate design, probable operating performance from the simulated model, and to analyze performance in dry and humid climatic conditions. The need for study of indirect evaporative cooler comes from the drawbacks of direct evaporative cooler. We see that in direct evaporative coolers, the inlet air comes and passes through a wet channel where evaporation of water cools down the air and it comes out at outlet air. But during this process, the air also picks up moisture from the water. But in an indirect evaporative cooler, the dry channel and the wet channel are separated. So the air that is supplied to the room comes from the dry channel and is only in thermal contact with the wet channel so that it does not pick up any moisture. Here is a psychometric chart showing direct evaporative cooling process from A to C and indirect evaporative cooling process from A to B. In direct evaporative cooling process, there is a limit, that is the wet bulb temperature, after which we cannot cool the air because it gets saturated. But in the indirect evaporative cooling process, we can even go beyond the wet bulb temperature because we are not increasing the humidity ratio and we are moving horizontally in the left direction. Moving forward with model description, the counterflow configuration comprises of two air flowing channels, that is the dry air channel and the wet air channel, and three air flowing streams. These are the supply air, the product air, and the working air. The supply air moves through the dry channel and exits as a product air, and a part of it goes into the wet air channel and is then returned into the atmosphere. The major challenge in this study is the design of this heat exchanger. To numerically analyze our model, we need to specify the cell element. Here a sample cell element is shown of height h and length dx. To achieve identical cell elements, each channel is divided into two symmetric parts along the center line. And the cell element can further be segmented into three types of control volume for the respective supply air, working air, and the water film. These are shown in these figures. In all the three parts of each cell, the mass transfer, enthalpy transfer, and heat transfer variables are analyzed, and upon simplification, it boils down to these four coupled differential equations. Now moving forward with results and discussion, our model was then validated with the experimental data provided at this reference. Here, the experimental points are marked with circles and the data from our model is plotted with lines. And it is observed that the model had the maximum disparity of 4.3% under different inlet temperature and humidity. The following temperature distribution was obtained along the length of the channel. In this plot, we have shown supply air, working air, and water film air temperature along the length of the channel. Here we find that the supply air temperature decreases gradually along the length of the channel. This indicates a constant sensible cooling along the length in the dry channel. However, the working air temperature decreases at first in the direction of flow and then increases as it exits the channel. The observance of this minima is due to the presence of two opposing factors. The first is the heating effect from the dry channel and second is the cooling effect from the evaporation. Here is a variation of working air humidity along the channel location. Here we see that the working air humidity increases along the direction of flow even after becoming saturated. This is due to the evaporation phenomena in the wet channel. At the start of the wet channel, the evaporation rate is high. This is because the working air stream is unsaturated at the inlet. When it reaches saturation at this point, the water evaporation continues because of the constant heat input from the dry channel. We also did the simulation comparison of dry weather and humid weather conditions in India of two cities, which are Jaipur and Kolkata. The input data was obtained from this site. Here is the video of the simulation of all the months of both the cities. You may pause the video to look at the specific data. I will explain some important observations in the next slide. Here I will show you some interesting findings. It is observed that for both the cities in the month of June have their supply temperature below the wet bulb temperature. Also, the temperature difference obtained between the input and supply air varies inversely to the input relative humidity. Also, the peak temperature difference obtained in the month of June for Jaipur is 13 degrees Celsius and for Kolkata is 5 degrees Celsius. This less amount of cooling in Kolkata is attributed to higher relative humidity values in the inlet air. The wet bulb effectiveness was calculated for all the months and is found to vary between 89% to 105% for Kolkata and 89% to 107% for Jaipur weather conditions. Here is a sample data from June. From our model, we also calculated the amount of water consumed. For typical Kolkata weather, we found that the water consumed if 100 such plates are used will be 0.892 kilograms per hour, whereas for Jaipur weather, for typical inlet conditions, we found that water consumed will be 2.19 kg per hour. Based on the heat transfer coefficient values obtained from the model, we have made the following prototype designs. This is an enlarged view of a single pair of dry and wet air channel. These are the heat exchanger design parameters which we have obtained for the cooling capacity of one refrigerated ton. Through the present study, we have made the following conclusions. A novel configuration for the dew point evaporative cooling has been shown analytically to provide good performance at various operating conditions. The wet bulb effectiveness ranged from 89% to 107% for both the cities for the whole year. The wet bulb effectiveness did not vary much during the continuous operation. This indicates the potential of this system for air conditioning applications. For hot and dry climate applications, the system alone can provide comfort conditions for a living at the inlet conditions less than these values. But for this system to be commercially viable to humid climates, the assistance of desiccant dehumidifiers should be studied, which could lead to alternate solution for mechanical vapor compression systems. The present work was on steady-state analysis of the model, but the transient model and the performance on stepwise load and real-time continuous load needs to be done. Also, fabrication and testing as per the design calculations given by the model also needs to be done. Here I would like to mention the contribution of different members of the group. The simulation of the code was done by Gopal. The parameter and performance analysis was done by me. Validation of model from experimental data was done by Gopal. The simulation of operation in different weather conditions for Jaipur and Kolkata was done by me. Analysis of water consumption was done by Gopal, and design calculation in SolidWorks model of the prototype was done by me. This concludes our presentation. Signing off. Thank you.